What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I watched a movie called The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Paul Dano. First of all, let's do a little roll call, all right? All the actors who cinematically played Batman. Just gonna breeze on through Adam West there because he really wasn't known for the movies. He was known for the show. Okay? But R.I.P. Adam West. Okay? It became official with the actor Michael Keaton. Okay, he did a good job in the first one. Did a good job in Batman Returns. No matter how cheesy or corny you thought it was, he did a good job. Then there was Val Kilmer with Batman Forever. I used to think this was one of the best Batman movies yet. Until you get older and you realize this movie didn't age well. Okay? I think the only thing that really got me was the soundtrack. The soundtrack was incredible. All right? Then it gets worse because the next one was George Clooney with Batman and Robin or whatever. All right. Now, this is by far one of the worst ones. It just was a wonder why they even made this movie. Okay. And Arnold Schwarzenegger did not help with all his trashy ass one-liners. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what it was. Okay. But down the line, it gets better. Because then you had Christian Bale with the Dark Knight Trilogy. Okay. These movies had a little dark tone to it. Okay. It had a little more edge to it. It wasn't goofy and silly. I loved it all. I loved it all. Except for Batman's voice. I don't know what was up with that. It sounded like he ate some glass or he swallowed. I don't know what he swallowed there. But anyways, it just was, the voice was bad, but it was a great trilogy, man. Regardless. Then it gets bad again. Because when Justice League came around, we got Ben Affleck as Batman. Okay? It didn't even look like he was comfortable in the outfit he had on. Like he was supposed to pass out every 30 seconds. It just was not, it wasn't working. It wasn't working for him, man. It wasn't working there. I'm glad he's out of there. I'm glad he's out. Because now we have Robert Pattinson in the Batman. And I have some questions. First, how many more damn Batmans are we gonna get? That's a lot of Batmans. Or Batmen. Stop. Is this going to be as good as least Michael Keaton's Batman or Christian Bale's? We're about to find out. Let's go. The Batman, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you had no idea the Batman was coming out, you live in a cave and you have a secret identity. Okay, just like the Batman, you live in the cave, or you're somewhere locked up in the Arkham Asylum. It has to be one of those two, because you should know. Don't play me. All right, the Batman is pretty much focusing on a young, fresh in the game Batman. Okay, he's barely getting in there. He's only been in the game for 2 years, apparently. All right, and I think this is one of his first major villains that he has to go against. You got some radical out there who's kidnapping and killing people because of some political stances. All right, some politicians are not keeping their word and they're being phony. Surprise, surprise, right? But that's what's going on, and we all know it's the Riddler. Okay, and now Batman has to find out and solve the puzzle. It's one of his first real lengthy investigations. I'm assuming, all right? And we're about to find out what he gets on the Riddler. That's the premise. Pretty much, okay? Positives. It goes without saying, almost goes without saying that every time I watch a DC movie, no matter how bad it is, there's at least one good action scene in the movie. And in this one, it wasn't lacking at all. It was not lacking the action. Batman gave it his all as ever, as always, whooping ass and taking names later. Okay, beating everybody up, punching cops. Cops wanted to fight him. It was crazy. I'll get into that a little later on with that situation. But even Catwoman was getting down in here. Catwoman was moving so fast in this movie. I at one point was asking, did they press the fast forward button back there in the real room? Because she's moving a little too fast. It looked like somebody pressed the fast forward button. Okay, Catwoman she was going there. She was going there. All right. She almost outdid Batman with the moves. I have to say, she's a little more agile. Is what it is. But those fight scenes were crazy. Okay. Then there was the unhinged young Batman, which Robert Pattinson did a great job of just portraying that character. All right. Hands down. He had a lot of angst. He was angry. He was still fresh off his, well, not fresh, but I mean, he still was pretty much dealing with his parents being murdered all those years back. Okay, he had to grow up through that. He had to train. This is what he trained to become. This was his fuel to become Batman. Okay, and so he was still angry. He was having fits about everything. Now, one could compare it to, yes, the Darth Vader's son. Not Darth Vader's son, but you know what I mean. Okay, with the fits he had, but it's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, he had fits for a reason, and he made it. He wasn't so annoying with it. Okay, not as annoying as that. You could feel his rage, and the cops didn't even like him. No one liked him. Only the commissioner was the only one who cut for him. The commissioner was the only one who had Batman's back. Everybody else wanted to fight this guy. And he was cocky. He was cocky. I was surprised one of the guys even had a chance to put their hand on his chest to stop him from coming in the investigation room or whatever. All right. Because that Batman was ready to fight everybody. Just an angry guy. But it worked. It worked. Then there was just the realistic take on the characters. First of all, it's not a spoiler, but Penguin is definitely in this movie. Okay? It's not your cheesy Danny DeVito Penguin. All right? This is Colin Farrell. I had no idea that was Colin Farrell. That's how good of a job they did on the paint, the makeup, the paint. And he just was more realistic. It wasn't he wasn't making noises like a penguin, or he didn't have a penguin themed battle, whatever it is, playing against Batman and stuff. He wasn't walking around with penguins following him. No, it was none of that corny crap. Okay, it was Penguin because he had a little waddle when he walked. That's it. Everything else was just straight up mobster gangster stuff. Okay, he was a mobster. That's it. That's the Penguin. They call him the Penguin. That's all you need. That's all you need. Nothing too cheesy. And then there was, of course, my favorite character in this movie, the Riddler. They did such a good job with making the Riddler who he's supposed to be. He's a smart man who's very understood, antisocial, awkward, just crazy. He's unhinged himself. Okay, he's not what Jim Carrey portrayed. He's not that. That's a cartoon character. This is what's up. Okay, the Riddler in this movie is what's up. He was one of those guys that you had to kind of keep your eye on in school because you don't know what he was going to do. Okay, he's one of those guys. He's not rap tight, and you felt it. You felt it. You didn't feel like you wanted to laugh at him. He's not the Joker, and you sometimes don't want to laugh at the Joker. So there's that too. But he's by far the best portrayal of the Riddler. I have to say that. Another positive about this movie had a dark tone to it. It brought me back to the Dark Knight days, the Dark Knight era with Christian Bale. It felt like that. So I was already like, yes, this is the path you want to go. This is the path you want to go. You're bringing it back to that Dark Knight tone. I like it. I like it because this is warranted. That it's warranted to have this kind of feel to it. No more cheesy stuff. I have to agree with the young people who don't like the old movies. I understand. I understand. You want this. Batman, this is what Batman's about. Even though he's a good guy, he has some issues himself. He's not all good himself. He's definitely one of the most celebrated anti-heroes in DC, at least. Okay. So I'll give him that. But it was a very dark, creepy, once again, edgy. The Edge is back. The Edge is back in Batman movies with this. All right. I seldom forgot this is PG-13 because it had a rated R feel to it. Even though there's times where you're like, okay, I can see why it's not rated R, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. That's also another positive. It didn't feel like a PG-13 movie. It didn't. I loved every aspect of that. I love that they were able to do that, to pull that off. All right. So yes, yes. Even though it's a long movie, it's worth every hour of the movie. Okay. Negatives, and this is I hate to do it. This is mostly going to be about Catwoman's role in this, man. Even though the actress did a great job, uh, a lot of her plot in this was just unnecessary, and I think it was put there to just waste time with all the time they had in the movie. Not too bad, but I really didn't care. Now, if you're an avid DC comic fan, then you can already guess a little bit of what they were going for with her storyline in here. And there's a certain villain in this movie that kind of ties to her. Now, I don't want to say too much because this is something fresh too for the comics, I believe. So I don't want to say too much on that, and I can't. But that's cool and all, but that could have been left for at least the end of the movie or another movie to come later on. I don't want 20 to 30 minutes of this plot line, okay, about what Catwoman's going through. I don't care. You keep it as Catwoman was assisting Batman, and that's it. Put that later on in the movie, like I said. Just don't do that to me in the middle of the damn movie. Don't do that, please. I please, I beg you. I fell asleep a couple of times because of that. Another negative, Catwoman again. Catwoman's character was extremely hard-headed. Okay, Batman was using her to assist him in his investigation. He put the little camera eyes on her so she can go to this party and kind of hustle up a conversation to get some information. She was doing that wrong. Okay, she was asking too much. The questions she was asking were too straightforward. That's going to get you busted. Okay, people are going to find out that you're undercover or something real quick doing that. The way she was doing it was sloppy. It was sloppy, and then she wanted to quit when she wanted to quit. So you're not a yeah. She's not something you could depend on. Let's just put it like that. She wasn't dependable as a helper. She fought when she wanted to fight. She had the attitude of an actual cat. All right, they don't want to do something unless they want to do it. she was acting like that, so that kind of made sense. But no, you're not helpful when you do that. Stop it. All right, just cut that one out. Another negative, my last negative about this. This the ending of this movie was a tad bit cheesy. Okay, all the stuff that happens in this movie, all to take it to the head. Take it to the head and remember it. Then you get to the end of the movie and it's like none of that even happened. Or some of that there was consequences, but it was like something that they easily were gonna clean up by the next time you see this movie. Okay, it was no permanent damage, except for you have a couple more villains that don't like Batman. That's it. That's it, man. Other than that, and there was a part in this movie I'm not going to give away that was kind of cool too, but it's nothing like it was something I've never seen before or whatever. But it made sense. Other than that, the ending around it, they could have made some a higher risk to that. The consequences could have shown a little tougher than what it did and didn't. But I still have to give this movie a hell yes. Okay, I'm giving this movie a hell yes. All right, this is one of the best movies I've seen in a while from Batman. As far as live action, they did a great job. They seem like they're taking notes from the cartoons. That's what it seems like. And if you are, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Matter of fact, take the whole playbook. All right. I want you to subscribe, like, you better share this video.